Hey, Nice Girls, how are we doing? I am Jennifer Lane, creator founder of Nice Girls Finish Last. Thank you for joining us on today's Girl Talk Tuesday, where we are going to discuss the 5 habits of an effective leader and why. Because if you are going to be managing any sort of team, staff, recruiting, anything like that, you are going to need to be able to effectively lead them in order for your business to be successful. Your business does rely on great leadership skills. So that's what I wanted to talk about with you tonight. Thanks so much for joining. Make sure to say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Share this so other women entrepreneurs can also see it. And I appreciate you giving us a like here. So if you are new to me, what I do is I help clients put together their marketing funnels, their social media management, and all of that good stuff. Pretty much everywhere from attracting prospects and leads to closing the customer. So if you are in need of help, then you may want to check us out. Go to nicegirlsfinishlast.com. But I wanted to talk about this topic because I found an article and it made me realize and kind of reflect over the years of being an entrepreneur, starting up and running different businesses, how critical leadership is to building a successful business. I have seen many business owners either succeed or stay at a very I'm barely making it, I'm paying the bills, but not doing much, and then completely fail because of either great leadership or poor leadership. And so it is important. If you are not a naturally born leader, I can understand if you'd want to maybe bring someone on board who is, or over the years have developed themselves into being a great leader and help them run your team or your staff, your employees or whatnot. But in the meantime, you need to work on your leadership skills. And if you think you're going to be able to motivate a team to take action, to make moves, to be successful, stay motivated without having even just decent leadership skills, then you're sadly mistaken. So thanks so much for joining. We're going to go through these 5. And what I really just wanted to do is just be something that you reflect on, something that you think about, maybe even consider, you know what, I got to sharpen up my skills, right? And as an entrepreneur over the years, like 20 plus years, that's what I've done is sharpen my skills in all areas. And I particularly love number 1 on this list that I'm going to share with you because this has been probably the biggest impact in my journey, in my life, in my profession. And I share this with my clients all the time when we're having discussions. And I mean, I guess I wouldn't really say it's something that you necessarily teach. I mean, you could teach it, okay? But it's really something that you as the individual has to work towards and stay disciplined on to be able to achieve. And I'm going to say that this really is one of the number 1 things that has helped me as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a assertive, go-getter, ambitious leader, whatever you want to call it. This has definitely been number 1 on my list. So I'm excited that it's number 1 on this list from the article I have found. So again, being a great leader is going to help you with your team. And being a great leader also helps lessen the stress of your team. It also helps inspire your team. And again, it doesn't matter if this is employees that you have, if you've got a business with employees in it, your staff, or if these are business partners that you're kind of head over, or if you're in a network marketing type company and you're recruiting and you have your team of salespeople or reps, whatever you want to call them. You definitely want a team that is striving for more, wants to learn more, do more. And I actually have a quote from John Quincy Adams who said, "When your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a true leader." And that is very much true. So let's go ahead and get into these because again, in my experience, and I know I wouldn't be the only one to say this, leadership, it was a big make or break for the business owner. And business is already hard enough as it is to build. So the one thing you don't want is to have poor leadership skills. So the first one, let's get right into it. I like to cut to the chase. The first one is they work to improve emotional intelligence. Now, I prefer to say emotional discipline, but they are similar and different. So what do we mean by that? Emotional intelligence or emotional discipline, like I said, has done wonders for me throughout the years. It's been, it helps you to be able to control your behavior, how you communicate. It helps you recognize and understand not just yourself, right, but the emotions of others on your team. What are they going through? Why are they acting a certain way? It helps you figure them out or like better read them on what's going on. It is amazing to me. Now, of course, I'm in no way perfect at this, but it is amazing to me when I talk to someone, have a conversation, and maybe we're discussing people as a whole or maybe individuals, and the way they, I don't want to say judge, but the way they look at why a person's being a certain way, and then the side that I see is completely different. And theirs is going off of opinions, assumptions, and whatnot. And of course, unless you directly ask them, you're not going to really know the truth, right? But I see things in a different perspective. I see things in the sense of this is a pattern. I'm big on patterns. Some people close to me would laugh about that. Jen, you're always about the patterns of people. Yes, okay? Patterns are their habits. So when I see a person who's willing to do X, I know more than likely they're willing to do Y because of it's a pattern. We work as a pattern. It's like the saying, the way you do anything is how you do everything. It's one of my favorite quotes because it's true. If you're sloppy in certain areas, you're probably overall in your lifestyle sloppy. If you're very particular, detail-oriented, you're more than likely very particular and detail-oriented in every area of your life, right? And so I look at people, I examine the situation, their behavior, their actions, judge, whatever, based on my emotional intelligence over the years, based on working with thousands of people over the years and following a pattern, understanding more of the psychology of individuals. And that's where I am better able to relate. I'm going to say this. I'm not saying there's not people out there that hate me. I don't know. But I've noticed on myself, and people have mentioned it to me too, there's not many people I find that I can't vibe with. We may be very different people from different walks of life, with different lifestyles, with different religious beliefs, with different whatever, but I can always click with a good 95% of people. And I would like to contribute that a lot to my emotional intelligence over the years, coming to an understanding of how different people are, how they work, what they do, what they've been through, and things like that. And if you're going to be managing people, don't you think this would be a good quality to have, to be able to read and better understand, notice the patterns of individuals? But I also want to focus not so much on the intelligence part, but the one that I particularly love, and it's the emotional discipline. Being emotionally disciplined helps you to respond to situations, not react. And I'll say that again, respond to situations and not react. Reacting to something is that first emotional impulse you have to either get really angry, swear, overreact in some type of way, right? But responding, you are able to take a little bit of step back, think about it, chew on it just a little bit. And even if it's just in a matter of like 10 seconds that you have to be able to come up with a response, You are better equipped to respond, and usually in an intelligent way, in a smart, strategic way, than to just react and just blow up, whether good or bad. And that has been a big asset in my life. And if you're going to be managing people, if you're going to be managing team, you can't be hot and easily bothered. You have to be able to examine the situation, what's in front of you, think, okay, where is this going to go? How should I respond to this? Also, take yourself out of it. In other words, don't take everything so personally. And I think that's why a lot of us react, because we're thinking personally. We feel insulted on a personal level. It's business. It's not personal. I say this to my team all the time over the years. It is business. It is not personal. And so if you're able to kind of take yourself, your ego, your feelings out of it for just a moment, really examine what's going on, and then be able to deal with your team, your staff, your employees in a better, smarter, more strategic way, it'll be much more effective. So number one, I truly, truly liked because of that. And let me see, it's because I'm looking on my laptop here. Let's go to number two. Oops, skip to number three. Number two is they openly admit their mistakes. Oof, come on, duh, right? If you are, even though you're the leader, even though they're the ones you're looking up to, even though you are the person they're following, if you are not able to admit that you made a mistake to your team, they are going to lose credibility and trust in you. You're not going to look like someone who they can really rely on. You're going to end up being an individual that they more despise, that they have to follow or listen to you. And admitting your mistakes to them is a good learning experience for them, because you could say, look, here was the situation. Here's how I handled it. Maybe here's why you handled it in that way. But now here's what I've come to find out why that was wrong. And being able to admit that. Think about the level of trust and respect you would have from your team, from your staff, if you are able to admit those things, come clean to them, not like months later, okay, and try to hide it for a while, but immediately that you know, right? So admitting your mistakes. All right, number three. They communicate well. A great leader has a habit of communicating well. Think about this, okay? And this is, I want to go back to those that are in network marketing, because I'm thinking about, you have a team and you're not selling them anything tangible, even though your company might, but you are selling them something that they have to believe in, an opportunity, a destination. You have to be able to communicate that well with them. Where are we going? What's the direction? Clarify the vision that you have for the business, the company, your team. It's very important, because if your team feels a little like, where are we in all of this? They're not going to strive more, want to learn more, do more, become more, and all that stuff that I quoted earlier. And they're going to fall short quite often, because they really don't have good direction. They really don't get what's going on. They don't understand what to do. Communication, even when you think about training individuals, is important. You don't want to have ill-trained individuals where now, especially if you do have a team where they have to produce, they're not producing. And if they're not producing, they're not going to be happy. And if they're not happy, what's going to happen? They're going to turn on you. One thing they could do, or they're just going to straight up quit. And so you have to be able to communicate clearly and well, so we all know where we're going. And I tell my clients this all the time, those who are in a direct selling or network marketing type company, what is the vision of your team? Where are you guys going? That's important for you to know, because if you don't even know, how are you going to communicate that to your team? And they don't know where they're going, and nobody's producing, nobody's successful, nobody's making money, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Number four. See? Number four is they have their own toolkit to stay calm in a crisis. This is really just how do you handle those explosions? Because they're going to happen, right? How do you handle those extreme stressful times? And by toolkit, just simply meaning like, what is your go-to maybe exercises, techniques? Do you go for a walk? Do you lay down on a couch that you have in your office and think it over and meditate for a bit? What is your plan when things basically blow up or get out of control or get extremely stressful? Because if you don't know how to compose yourself, then you're not going to be a great rock foundation leader to those under you, your team following you. They're looking up to you. They're watching you. They're learning from you, and they want to trust you that you're taking them where they want to go. So what is your toolkit on how you handle a crisis moment? And even like your principles. In your toolkit could include your principles that you live by. That no matter how bad things seem, you have your morals that you stand on that you're not going to break. You have those pillars, those standards that you will absolutely not bend and break. That can be part of that toolkit on handling a crisis type situation. Does that make sense? Okay. And number 5, they plan a lot. Literally, that's how I put it. They plan a lot. I tell my clients this all the time, and in my group, you have to plan. Plan for everything. There is no winging it. If you've even watched just one other of my videos, I've probably said that. I say it a million times. Even I get tired of hearing myself say it. You have to plan, whether it comes to a new promotion for the holidays, a new contest you're running, a new competition you're doing for your team on who's on different teams, who's going to produce more, what's the quotas we're meeting, a new strategy that you want to come up with in your marketing. All of those things you have to plan. Your week, your days, your week, your month, your years. If you're not planning, then how do you really know where you're going and taking your team? If you're not planning, then how do you expect to get anywhere? How do you expect to see growth, right? How do you expect to stay organized? And how do you determine the growth that your company has already been going through, your business has been going through? Where do you see next month going? What are you going to do? What new incentives will you have? At what level do you expect to grow? Plan. I know that a lot of business owners get stressed out just kind of living in that day-to-day routine and the things that they have to get done, but you have to take time to work on the business and not always in it. Because when you're constantly working in it, it's going to always feel like a job. But when you take some time, even if it's a couple hours a week, to work on your business, you're going to be able to plan ahead, strategize, do what you need to do to be able to scale that business. Because if you're just constantly working in it, if you're just constantly just like, oh, let's try this tomorrow, let's try this, let's try that, don't expect to see growth that stays consistent, that's in any way substantial. I hope that makes sense. If you need help with any of these 5, I can help you with that. I work with clients not only on a here's how you get marketing done business way, but also even a lot in the way you think and the way you change your habits and your patterns, because they do determine. You change your habits and you change your life. I'm pretty sure you've heard that before. And it really is true. Change your habits and you change your life. And it can start something so small. I did a live that you can check out on our fan page on Facebook where I'm talking about doing promotions for holidays. The new year, how we make these resolutions and no one can stick to them by February because you're thinking of changing so much at one time. Baby steps. If you can change something just, a couple times a week, all of a sudden it becomes more than that and then more than that, and you continue to grow. But if you start nowhere, or if you try to take on too much at one time and just completely give up because it's too much to handle because you're trying to change your whole pattern and habit of how you live day to day like that, then you will not see growth. Ladies, I hope this helped. Please make sure to share this. Let me know what you think or your number one takeaway here in the comments. I appreciate it. Subscribe or follow us depending where you are watching this video. I appreciate you hopping on. And yeah, let me know what your takeaway was. If you need help, go to nicegirlsfinishlessinc.com or sidehustle to sixfigures.com. We can schedule a free business strategy call, see where we can help take your business. And again, you've got to learn how to be a good leader if you're going to be able to lead a team. And you need a team in business. Again, whether it's employees or staff or people you're recruiting, depending on your business model type, you need people to see growth, or you're always going to be that one-woman show. And I don't think that's what you are trying to be. Have a great night.